Hello, I'm Sylvia Jeffries. Welcome to A Current Affair. We're constantly told to be on the lookout for scams, but sometimes they're incredibly hard to pick. Tonight, how to spot the red flags on fake investments that are robbing Aussies of their life savings.
Well, once again, this is a classic identifier that they are very sophisticated.
They're willing to go that extra mile, even if it takes them a few months to get one hit. That one hit is a very large sum.
I've learned that nothing you should do online without physically checking.
I feel like I've been responsible for trying to sort my life out now, and it's just put me back in the biggest hole.
Michelle Lowry thought she was investing in government and bank bonds when she lost $750,000 of her life savings.
You know, I was just starting to move forward after the death of my husband, and this has just, put me right back there, stress-wise, anxiety, everything. It's just myself, and I've got my 3 kids, and, this money was going to help us have our lifestyle together, build ourselves back together, and that's been taken away from me now.
Michelle was looking online for term deposits when she came across a website for EQR Securities.
I checked out that they were a registered company with ASIC and they had an Australian Financial Securities licence number. I gave the information to my accountant as well, and for him to verify the legitimacy of the purchase of the bonds and the company.
So in December last year, she went to her local bank and tally transferred her money to an account provided.
I had communication then saying that EQR Securities, which is the company that were buying the bonds on my behalf, received the funds and that I could log into a portal and find my receipts online. I logged in once, and then after that I couldn't seem to get in. I kept asking Will Hughes, which was the name of the man at EQR Securities I was dealing with.
Will Hughes is a name we've heard before. Jodie Bridges, who we interviewed in May, lost $500,000 in a similar scam and was also duped by a man called Will Hughes, who had a British accent.
The money is, you are fully safe. Okay, I wouldn't. If there was something untoward this, I wouldn't even bother calling you back, Jodie. Your money is absolutely fine, and it is being recalled.
I tried to ring him and said, "Well, what's going on? It's now May. The coupons were supposed to go in April, and then all of a sudden, EQR Securities didn't have a phone number. He couldn't be contacted, and I went onto the internet to get onto their website, and everything had been taken down."
75-year-old Sarosh Kalapezi was looking to invest in bonds when he lost $100,000 after entering his details on a fake bond comparison website called Savings Connection.
Called me and said that he was from NAB and he was going to be the account manager, and he started interviewing me as to how many years I wanted and how much money I was willing to invest in the bond. I told him that I cannot invest more than $100,000 a day because there is a limit on my bank. So the first amount I transferred was $59.74 or something as a trial run. And my bank did let it go through. And then the next day, I deposited $100,000. And that time, CBA called me early in the morning at around 8 o'clock. And said that they haven't processed that amount because they think it's a fraud account.
Because the first transaction went through, Sarosh authorised the second one, but quickly became suspicious and tried to meet his scammer in person.
I just casually asked him his address. And because it was a Sydney number, he said George Street. I said, okay. I said, look, I'm here. I would like to meet you. And of course, they said, don't worry, I will email you the address. And I waited for half an hour and I didn't get the address, so I knew I was duped.
Sarosh immediately contacted police and both banks to try and put a stop to the payment on the same day, but it still went through. Sarosh, Michelle and Jodie all tricked by cunning fraudsters targeting investors. This mock-up is based off the scam websites, and Cybercrime Squad Commander Matt Kraft has some tips on how to spot a fake.
Let's start with the URL. Obviously, a normal company, their URL would be www.companyname.com, usually .au in Australia.
So with the URL, what we would see there is changes in letters, where you would use a K instead of a C, you would use hyphens, perhaps full stops. They can't use the legitimate URL of that company, so they have to get something that is close to it.
Next tip is to closely examine the contact page.
What is the red flag about a Proton Mail email address?
With that particular service there, it's often encrypted and it's an anonymous way to communicate. So once again, a legitimate business just won't be using that.
How about a 1-800 number? What does that tell you?
1-800 numbers, once again, whilst they have a legitimate use, they are associated with fraud.
If there is no address on the contact page of the potential investment you're looking at, what would you recommend people do?
You need to know who you're dealing with. So you shouldn't be sending money to somebody that you don't know and that you cannot identify.
Chris Sachi from Australian Bond Exchange says if you're investing in government bonds, don't be fooled by a good offer.
The reality is they pay about 0.5 to 1% per annum. Most of the scams are offering you 5.5. So straight away, if it's anything more than 1, it's a red flag and you need to stop.
Is it too good to be true? It's a really good litmus test for identifying these types of scams.
These victims have so far failed to get their money back. Police are pleading with everyone to be suspicious.
Investment scams are the #1 way that Australians are losing money in terms of scams.
What is the resounding message here when you do go onto these websites and you are considering investing hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Whilst the internet in this case here can work against you, the other point being is that it can also be a valuable resource for you. So when scams are identified, quite quickly there's government websites that identify it and call it out.
And in case you missed the names of those 2 websites to avoid, they are EQR Securities and Savings Connection. That information is also on our website.